Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of July, 3 p.m. So yeah, it's midweek, so I just want to go through a review of the potential trade setups from my hot list that I published on Sunday. So if you haven't watched that video, I urge you to go back and have a look, and then obviously review this video afterwards. Really, the point of these videos is just to really show you how I trade, but more importantly, how I manage my day. How do I find the opportunities, and then how do I use, I guess, certain processes, certain procedures to get the market to come to me, so I can then start shaping the opportunity and massaging it right through to execution. So I'm just going to whip through the hot list as discussed on Sunday. So if we look here, we've got Euro USD. What we were looking for is a quick short position. So if we just go on the lower time frame, give me a second, maybe a bit higher than that. Yeah, there we go. So what we were looking for, it broke through support here, and we got price broke through support. Broke through support here. What we were looking at is a pullback to sort of test this trend line at the time, and my alert was around here at the time. So what I was looking for is price rejection and then confirmation of a short. For me, I didn't get involved in this. I didn't have the alert set low enough. Got price rejection, and I didn't get involved, which is okay. We're not going to get every trade, but as you can see, we got this rejection, this pin bar here, and it looks like we are going to continue towards this trend line, which you can see is on the daily time frame. So this short roll price rejection and then a rejection at this level, this was going to give me an intraday short towards this trend line, where the bigger picture for me is then potentially a long. So if we have a look at this quickly, what I'm looking at, if I just zoom out, what we've got here, we've got a breakout from this trend line. So we had a channel with the trend to the downside, and we've come back to test this area. We broke out, came back, and now we've actually broke out, and we're sat on top of this outer trend line. So for me, what I'm looking for is a pullback to test this new trend line and continue long. So I did want to get an intraday trade there. I missed it. The objective for me now is to get a longer position to the upside. So it's still on my hot list. It's just now changed from a short to a long. So I'm going to whip through these now. So Euro GDP, this was very much on my hot list. Now, if you look at the last video, you'll have noticed I said that we're looking for a short position, but we needed to remain patient. It's very choppy, this pair at the moment. So I'm just going to drill into the 4-hour time frame. Just have a look at this. Now, I've cleaned up my chart since the last video, but you'll see that I was pointing that this pair, although it's trying to sell off after such a large move to the upside, it's very likely psychologically to come and touch this trend line, and it has done so at this point here. Now, we still need to remain patient. I'm starting to get very interested in this pair now. This is my area of interest. What I'm looking for now is solid confirmation that this pair is going to come short. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to look at price action around this level. We're starting to get indecision, and I think for me, what I'll be looking for to go short longer term is potentially a break below these moving averages. Now, if we just look at price action leading up to this point, it's sat very much so on these dynamic support areas, and it has, even when it's broke, it's shot back up. So I want to see either solid price rejection right on the trend line, and that could be in the form of maybe an evening star like this, or a bearish engulfing tweezer tops, or a series of dojis. The moment what we've got is we did have price rejection, but now we're getting indecision again. Now, I want to see these moving averages roll over, and I want to see this. I think what's going to happen is going to condense as these moving averages get closer to the trend. And then what I want to see is this kind of formation sat underneath the close, underneath these moving averages. And that's what I'm looking for. If I miss it, I miss it. What will happen is I'll get a better confirmation, but I won't get as good a price. So I might be getting involved sort of this area with a bigger stop. But this is a longer term trade for me. It's due a significant pullback. But we still have got weak pound fundamentals that are driving this pair up. But from a technical point, this is due a correction. Now, if we draw a fib at this level, I've gone the wrong way there, just hang on. From top to bottom, we are looking at a considerable move back, even if it's just to this 50 level of between 200 and 250 pips. Okay, so great to remain patient with this one, so it's definitely on my hot list. Euro NZD, not really much to say about this one. I was looking for I did get confirmation on the daily. What I was looking for was a pullback towards this 50 before I then took a continued short. So what we would have had here is a nice head and shoulders formation, giving us good confirmation that this was going to come short. But unfortunately, it just took off. So I didn't get this, unfortunately. So that is a non-starter for me. Euro Oz, again, missed this one. The big reason for this is what I was looking for is although we got give me a second. Sorry about that. So yeah, with this one, beautiful setup. And what we saw here, if you've got the break through the trend line. So if you just go back on the high time frame, weekly. So here's the setup. So we got a nice bearish, not quite a bearish engulfing, but certainly a strong bearish finish that broke below this trend line. Then we got a perfect technical pullback towards, so using the 4-day high and low strategy really. But if you look here, back into this area of interest, this green area here, right up to touch the bottom of the previous 2 months low. So this is the 4-day high and low strategy. So it's perfect formation, boom, boom, boom. Got price rejection right off that level, and then boom, off we went. So beautiful trade setup there. If you just drill down into the lower time frames, you can see exactly where we look to get involved. So price action, bit of indecision, bang, straight through this area, this trend line here. Notice how this bearish candle closed below the trend, but then come back up, price rejection again. This evening star formation right in the trend is great confirmation that this is likely to continue short. Then we got a continuation, and again another evening star formation, confirming that this was likely to head back low. But again, this is where you can be really patient, because although we got this, with the week being heavily driven with fundamentals over the past couple of weeks, you do get a bit of scatty behavior in the markets. So look at this, we came back to test this area of interest yet again, and this time it bounced right off this area of resistance that's underneath this trend line. Another evening star formation, so that's 1, 2, 3, perfect price rejection, and then we enter. Well, you can really enter short at any of these areas with these candles as confirmation, but entering just below this area would have been a decent entry, and look what's happened. Nice continuation to the downside. New Zealand dollar. With this one, we were looking to come short around this area of interest here because we got quite a significant move up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bullish days. So we would expect a pullback, but this bearish engulfing could well have been that pullback. Now, what we've got is on this daily, so the following day we got indecision, and now we are making a move to the upside. Now, this could continue to go long and actually create a morning star formation. It's funny, I've noticed with this pattern, this currency pair, there seems to be a lot of those sort of in the mix. So you know, we look at one here. Kind of got one here as well, a double bottom. There's quite a few, you see. So we need to remain patient with this one. We've got the area of interest here. Now, what we're looking for is price rejection. Sorry, we're looking for price action around this kind of area. What we want is the price to reject now. It has broke back above this trend line. So we just draw that. So we've got this 8-hour bar here, 4-hour bar here. We've got what we got 3, maybe 4 to 5. 3 hours left on this candle. So if we get price rejection around this area and it breaks back and closes below this trend line, we're looking for this kind of formation, pin bar. Well, I guess really it's only going to have to be a pin bar or sharp price rejection. So long as the close is below this trend line, it may well come up and roll over and create a bit of a double top. But what we're looking for, we need to stay patient with this one, just wait for rejection at this level. Because if you look on the higher time frame, what could happen is it could just create a morning star formation, which is a bullish sign. And then we could look to come back, retrace back towards this area of support, and then it could continue long. Sort of like this. So go up to test that, come down and bounce off this support line, and then continue on its way up here, you see. So just got to remain patient with this. Again, price action tells us what to do, and then we can make a decision to go in with managed risk and obviously look at taking the trade. So really we've got potentially a short-term trade towards this 50% if this holds as rejection, with then a continued long position back up towards this trend line. So remain patient with this one. Aussie USD, again, very similar. Got an alert set around this area of interest. It's very likely now it's going to come up and touch, and then we're going to be monitoring for price action to give us confirmation that this may well come short. So not much to report there. USD CAD. We have gone long. I went long on this position. My stop loss, as you can see, is below this low here. The reason why I took the trade is we got indecision. So if you look at this, we've got price rejection off this trend. Again here, bounce back up, again here, and it's come back to test. Now it hasn't come back to test this area here. So this was my confirmation area of interest confirmed as well. So we've got a morning star on the daily time frame. We then got a pullback and price rejection off this area here. So that's where we took our long position, just at this area. And at the moment, it's a non-starter. So if this stops out, then it stops out. Manage risk. We just reassess, and if we get confirmation again, we may look to take this trade long again towards this trend line. So currently in this live trade, it may well stop us out for a loss. USDM. So with this one, the bias was to the upside. We got a nice breakout from this channel. We have come back to test this area, and at the moment we have not broke below. What we have got though is a bearish sign here, which is causing a bit of indecision at the moment. We've got a double bar on the daily, and we have broke back below. So what we might find is this comes back, sort of holds on this trend line, and then retraces to go long. So at the moment, kind of neutral on this, but my bias is technically towards the upside. But with this bearish pattern forming here, we just need to be patient with this one. So still on my hot list. Let me just move the alert down a little bit to there. So what I do with these alerts is quite simple. I set an alert. I'll just put one in there. Need to clean some alerts up, but generally what I do is I set alerts below and above the existing candle. So either way, the market is going to move in between that tight range. And when the alert goes off, I monitor price action. Based on what the candles are telling me, I make a decision to either take a trade or not. And if not, I move the alerts again. When the alerts go off, I monitor price action again. I continue to do that on my hot list until something takes shape. Okay, so that's a wrap for this session. Join us at the end of the week for the end of week wrap up. Well, I'll just sort of highlight any trade setups that were taken. In addition to these videos, I do ad hoc posts and videos on some of the trades that I have taken, winning or losing trades. Really just to show you, you know, it kind of backs up my thought process when I take a trade, and then if the trade wins, I talk around how the trade won, what my thought processes were, how I managed the trade to get the most out of the position, or if I came out early, why I did that, what the rationale was behind that. And in addition, the losing trades as well, because I'm in a trade at the moment that looks like it may well stop out for a loss. I'm not going to move my stop loss because I manage risk. So if that stops out, I'll have a rationale for why that stopped out. Because obviously when we take these trades, they look good on paper, the technicals line up, and that's all we can do. And we try and navigate around the fundamentals. But of course, we take the trade and then we're at risk. So as the news releases come out, you know, we don't know what those news releases are going to be. So fundamentally drives the market, and sometimes we just get stopped out. So I'll be commentating on those losing trades as well. So that's it for now. Speak to you in the next video.